Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home. That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby.
You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You're the blackest one in this room.
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border. And then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on American soil. So he became the anchor baby. They don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you. I'm much appreciated. What's up, everybody? I see you in the chat. Hello. Welcome. It's American Anchor Baby, Wednesday, 12 o'clock, Bond Network, going strong, keeping it pretty good. What do you guys think? Pretty good on the timings here? We got a real network start forming. What's up, everybody? Nick 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒂𝒎. Hey, I started at a good time. You can't say that. Well, I guess you could still say that. They say, some people say the title of Blackest at Bond is up for grabs. But anyways, what's up, Ivana? Cuz, what's up, cuz? Lizzie, Lady C-Sal, Mr. Mad Rome, Games for Rec, everybody. Matthew, Life Enjoyer, you guys are rolling in quick today. Thank you. We got a nice show ahead. Going a little further as the news keeps coming, right? Incredible moments in history, I guess, making history in the world right now. We're going to get into it. A couple of interesting things have happened. Biden spoke about the conflict. What conflict? The conflict within. He spoke about some things there, which is a little interesting moment there I want to highlight, but really we'll be highlighting human nature once again on the show as we're seeing many different scenes with U.S. politicians and politicians abroad. Okay, we're going to get into it all. We got some great news to get into. News, history, and some other stuff, too. We got other things, okay? It's all going to be an interesting little show. A little show for the American Anchor Baby and the audience, so thank you. We're going to get into all that. And your calls, 888-775-3773. You want to jump on the air, get it off your chest. What shall we call today's stream? We will figure out that title when the moment comes, huh? For now, it's the Anchor Baby Show. I want to say hi to those over there at Rumble. Ohio Sentinel, TJ Hilliard, and Hake Report, and those who are chilling. They're chilling. They're just on their phones or something, but they're at the party. They're just silent. Thank you over there. Rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. If you want to support, watch the show that way. Did you know I also, you may have forgotten I have a podcast that needs a little fixing, but you can check it out once I post the episodes that are missing. American Anchor Baby on Substack. And it distributes on Spotify if you can find it there as well. So thank you for that. For those who want to listen. I'll make sure to treat you guys right. Okay. Games for Rec, man. Thank you for the early super chat there. No message. Looks like a director's chair. Little emoji. Thank you for that. Want to make sure I've welcomed everyone here. All the super chats and all that. Okay. Did I tell you the number? 888-775-3773. You want to jump on the air? Let's see what else. Amazing. Okay. We've been talking about Israel these past few days here. Talking about the wars and different things here. And everyone's got a take. Everyone's got a big old take. And I sure gave it my Give it a good old college try. Trying to stay, out of things that I don't know. But, it feels like everyone is trying to understand, have a take for whatever reason and whatever motivation. But let's take a step back, at least here for me and my show and myself. I'll take a step back. You guys could just watch. But take a step back from myself and reporting and news and facts. Facts. Everyone has facts, but nobody knows the truth. And I don't know about foreign policy and the deepness of it all. I just know what I've told you. And even those things I've told you when I don't really know. So I don't want to pretend, okay? When I've made sense to you. If I don't, call in if you disagree. 888-775-3773. But here's something I have some experience with. Here's something I do have some experience with, and that's human nature. Human nature. I've been blessed doing this work. Found myself doing it. Just found myself working for Jesse and doing this work. Besides, editing videos and doing a show, we're researching the world too, but back to basics here. The calls, anger, those moments with every individual on the JLP show, those moments you have with yourself, with the new things you're discovering about yourself, applying them to the world, seeing the world with different eyes. Human nature. Something that not just I have experience with, many of you as well. And not only through the JLP show. It's if you're paying attention. And so I have some experience with that. And so we're seeing news, we're seeing bombs, we're seeing videos, we're seeing horrible things, we're seeing claims this and that way, but we're also seeing some quite basic things that you could miss. But basic things. Emotional people. Emotional people operating not from logic, not from love, at least not apparently, but with anger. Anger. And so that's, if there's anything in the past 2 days that you've been paying attention to that I've highlighted, it's that. Human nature and behavior. When they see images and how they react. When they hear different things and how they believe. And when you speak to people, they reveal that they don't know. Okay? So we may not know, we may be confused about this or that facts and whatever things, claims that we may have even talked about it on this show in the past few days. But human nature, let's not lose the plot. This is what I do know about a little bit. And what you guys have been hearing about on the Bond Network. Where else are you going to get this? You know what I mean? I've been hearing that from different people. But I think we offer something a little unique. And now with now we're getting an injection of artistic, culture, for the culture value. We got Hassan on the network, adding to the to the network hosts here. We're all bringing something amazing, I think, in my opinion. So thank you for your support at home. Bond Network. I mean, where else are you going to get this? Different takes, don't you think? Maybe not the most, at least from me, accurate or deep in knowledge, but at least a little sobering takes here, don't you think, guys? When the world's gone mad, can we focus on ourselves and human nature? So I'm seeing emotional people believing the first thing they hear. You know, it's so interesting. There was a call on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. And Jesse said a statement. He said, if you overcome thoughts, you have no friends or enemies. And then he said, but that's a different subject. And he moved on. And at the time on the show this morning, if you missed it, you could podcast it. The Jesse Lee Peterson show. It's distributed on most podcasting platforms. You can find it, jesseleepeterson.com/show if you're ever confused. If you overcome thoughts, you have no friends or enemies. But that's a different subject. But it's not. It really isn't. It could be confusing getting into the peeling the onion and seeing, well, it's this person's fault. Oh, wait a second, it's this person's fault. Oh, wait a second, it's this person's fault. Imagine if you overcame thoughts. Okay. So that's what I'm about, if you've been wondering. That's what I'm about. Okay? I'm about love, or at least discovering what true love is, right? Okay, so anyways. Just a little side thing, or a little opening there. But I wanted to show you some things here. Because, like I said, emotions are high. And everybody wants, emotions are high. You guys get that. And there's hateful rhetoric. They're calling it hateful rhetoric. On both sides, in my opinion. I've seen it on both sides. And we've gone over the conflict the past 2 days and all that. And no need to really hash out anything over again. You could check out my last few shows on this channel. But what did I want to show you first? Because I showed you videos, people on the streets. You're seeing people on the streets yelling with Palestinian flags. I'm seeing videos where I don't speak their language, but the captions, the subtitles on these videos say, "Gas the Jews." They're saying that's what they're yelling, right? That's according to the subtitles. But, there's videos of people out there saying, kill all the Palestinians. Okay? I'm seeing this rhetoric, hateful rhetoric. People going straight to it. And they all have their justifications for it in their mind. But just so you understand where I'm coming from, for me, it's not about understanding. Like, I've tried. You saw I kind of tried a little bit these past few days, but I'm not really about figuring out the side here. And so anybody, I don't care who it is, speaks in this way, I get a little suspicious. Not in that, like, I care about what someone else is doing that much, but if they're trying to make me support something, if someone's saying, this guy swears, I'm sorry, but he's saying F Palestine, kill all the Palestinians, right? So I can't find myself. I don't see the love. Going back to my opening statement here, that's because that's really what I care about. I don't really see the love here. And so you've been seeing these, like I said, they all have their justifications out there. They're out there yelling and they have their reasons. They call it justified. I see hate. But for example, one justification you're hearing is these babies, the beheaded babies by Hamas, which has been reported. But it's also been, and hey, far from me from being a violent event denier, okay? That's not me. I would never do such a thing. Deny a violent event. But hey, we got questions. People got questions. And so the White House had a briefing on this whole thing. Remarks by President Biden on the terrorist attacks in Israel. And I want to get into this, his remarks here. What about it I found important? It was this part. Well, because right now it's this talk about these babies, the beheaded babies, which is a horrible thing. That's a horrible piece of news. And any group, I think we can agree that people doing that should be stopped. Okay? But let me show you what U.S. politicians are sounding like about this whole thing. Before I get into Biden and the beheaded babies, let me show you what Lindsey Graham, Lindsey Graham. I heard he has no kids. Lindsey Graham. I heard he has no kids. Someone was yelling at Lindsey on social media saying, Lindsey Graham doesn't have kids. He doesn't care about what happens. Anyways, Lindsey Graham, South Carolina, senator from South Carolina. Let me show you what U.S. politicians are saying about the conflict here. Let's play this video. Fox News, Lindsey Graham.
We're in a religious war here. I am with Israel. Do whatever the hell you have to do to defend yourself. Level the place. We're
in a religious war, he says. A holy war, Lindsey Graham says. holy war, and flatten them or something. He said something like that. We're in a religious war. Just do whatever you have to do to defend yourself, he says. Well, absolutely. I don't disagree with that at all. If they're beheading babies, there has to be a retaliation. There has to be. Or it's to be expected. And you could call it an act of war on either side. You could call it terrorism. You could call it whatever you want. But it's two sides fighting. And I don't know, I think you lose your moral high ground in a war. You don't get to just say, that's a terrorist attack. Anyways. Religious war, he says. Religious war. And there's been people who are in my own chat calling into the show saying, wow, the conservatives, they're showing their true colors. They're showing their true colors, they say. They're showing themselves to be Zionists. They're showing themselves to be this or that. But I think that's kind of a shallow conclusion. Because that's not the true colors they're showing. Their true colors, when they go mask off, it's not, Zionism isn't the colors they're showing. It's evil. It's anger. It's hate. It's importance of self to increase your status, increase your wealth, power, so-called. Ego, selfishness, right? That's the true colors they're showing. The true colors, their selfishness against the American people, against the American public and their duty that they said they would do, right? As a person who holds office, right? That's the true colors they're showing. And talking about this religious war, I mean, it's just the language, right? The language. It's a spiritual battle, Lindsey Graham. And maybe that's what he means. Maybe that's what he means, to be fair. Maybe that's what he means. But a religious war and calling it that makes me think of physical things, makes me think of people fighting. And those are people over there, Lindsey Graham. As much as I don't want people to die, as much as I believe people have the right to defend themselves, Israel has that right as well. I don't want to be involved in a religious war, man. It's a spiritual battle and our enemy's within. Okay. And so and it's for that reason that I don't want to see this stuff right here. Okay, I'm seeing, not that I don't want to see it. Let me be more accurate what I want to say. I'm seeing videos of people going up to different state for example, Colorado State Representative Tim Hernandez. I feel like Hake Report spoke about this guy, teacher, abolitionist, Chicano, organizer, state representative, like a total communist, like just communist, America hater. Like, I feel like Hake may have reported on this guy, but anyways, that's who this guy is. Just off the deep end. And someone went up to him to ask him if he refuses to condemn the rape and murder of women, the slaughtering of over 900 innocent men, etc. Someone went up to him to ask him this. Here's how he responded. State Representative Tim Hernandez.
And I think it's despicable what they're protesting for and what you're protesting for. And the fact that you can't condemn women and children and elderly people being murdered in the streets.
What about it?
What about it, he says?
I already said.
Why can't you say yes?
Because I already gave you my answer.
You didn't give an answer. And I think anybody who would watch this would understand what your actual position is here. 3 people that are going to
watch your bullshit video wrestle.
He swore. What the? State representatives. The sun is still out, man. Someone tell him the sun is still out. Can you wait till the sun goes down if you're going to, like, if you have to cuss? If you have to cuss, can you wait till the sun goes down, y'all? Come on. That's when the bad stuff happens. Right? Good is for the day, bad is for the night. So, and it's unclear in this video what he really believes, okay? But that's how this video was posted and presented by Kaya Reichik. I believe she's the Libs of TikTok person. They're asking him to condemn it. It's unclear what he really believes here, but okay, let's go with the post here saying that he refuses to condemn it. Okay, evil, right? We can agree on that. Evil. There was another thing. It was Rashida Tlaib, right? Rashida, she was asked to also condemn or something like that. Rashida Tlaib. I never did know how to pronounce that. which, you know, they're saying she didn't. Dodge's reporter, according to Fox News' Rashida Tlaib, Dodge's reporter repeatedly asking if she condemns Hamas slaughtering infants. So she's okay with slaughtering infants then. I mean, these are people in our government. And it is look, I'm not going to, it's a little, if you're asked to condemn baby killing, it's kind of easy. Don't you think? It's kind of easy to say, well, yeah, we're not about that. So a little weird that these people are in our government and it's not a clear answer. But this is my thing is I'm seeing this, a whole bunch of posts, conservative people getting up in their faces on these people and saying, hey, condemn it. I don't want to see that without people going around, because you're asking, let me put this in context for you. We just saw Lindsey Graham. I'm talking about U.S. politicians. This is why it gets me. It's different. It's a little bit different, right? When you're talking about the actual conflict, when you're actually over there, we're talking about U.S. politicians. And I don't want to see the public going up to them going like, do you condemn Hamas? Without them saying, do you condemn funding more war in the Middle East, fighting Israel's fight, fighting the Palestinians' fight, condemn it all. I don't want to see, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just seeing these videos and I don't disagree with it, but can we get a full thing here? Because that's how I feel about it. You know what I mean? Can we get a condemnation of evil and fighting in general? Especially when it involves us and possible larger conflicts that may bring in larger nations and, just crazy stuff, right? Crazy stuff. So that's my thing, right? U.S. politicians, because these are people in our government. And you got people going up to them saying, well, condemn Hamas, man. It's like, okay, fine, condemn it, but don't stop there. That's how I feel about it. Asking, and so I'm seeing like psychos. I'm seeing like psychos. Because for me, it's not, I don't know, this Palestinian did that or this Israeli did that, but U.S. politicians, it doesn't seem like they're putting America first. It's really that simple for me. So I wanted to show you, though, it's not, the psychos aren't just in the government, though. The psychos are not just in the government. Yesterday, I was describing to you this relationship the Arab states have with their people, and it's very fascinating. So, you know about the Abraham Accords. I told you about them yesterday a little bit. And it was this attempt that the Trump administration did to recognize Israel as a state and start just cleaning it up, okay? And the whole point of the Abraham Accords is the USA as a mediator would make some concessions to the Arab states and work it out, okay? You guys can figure out Israel-Palestine later, but can you just recognize Israel as a real state so you just don't, like, push it off the map and destroy it and we don't have to get involved? And then we can just wash our hands. And you got to understand, there's kind of a little bit of wisdom in that. I'm kind of speculating. I don't know. But it seems to me, with the type of man I've seen Trump be in the past few years, there's a bit of wisdom in okay, let's not figure out Israel-Palestine now. Just you figure out later. There's a wisdom in time. Time passes, and sometimes people don't forget. It gets worse, but time passes and people forget about dumb things. A little bit. There's a little bit of wisdom there, in my opinion. A little bit of a side note. Abraham Accords, attempt to make Israel a state. The Arab state. There's a couple of Arab states. United Arab Emirates comes to mind. There's a bunch others who agreed with Trump, and they're like, all right on, we'll do it. And Saudi Arabia with Biden continuing the Abraham Accords started. Biden was going to do it with Saudi Arabia. And I was describing to you guys this interesting relationship. The governments of these Arab states are basically showing that they're willing to just, hey, let's work things out and just start trading and just, and that's just by definition a more stable region. Duh. Right? But the Arab nations' governments who want to work things out, their people, after the attack with Hamas and all that, took to the streets and started rioting for the Palestinians. Rioting for a fight that, started 100 years ago. They've been living their lives. And look, do you see the picture I'm trying to paint here? What an interesting relationship, don't you think? They're okay with working something out, which is just more stable. but the people, their own people, not the government. And I'm not saying that they're totally blameless here, because they foment all sorts of anger and stuff as well. But the people took to the streets and started beating the war drums. Beating the war drums. The people are retarded. The people have a sickness, okay? This is about the individual. I mean, JLP's just, we go back to it, he's right. The people are the government. The psychos aren't just in the government. And I've described to you this interesting relationship playing out over history. World War I going back. It was the Belgium neutrality. Belgium neutrality. Both sides of this war at the time said they both had their own claims about this neutral country known as Belgium at the time, and they both said, "Hey, don't you dare touch Belgium or we're going to make you pay." And what happened? And so the world was marching closer and closer to the brink of a great world war, the first one. And there were many people in the governments of Europe, of Britain, of Germany, who were trying to stop the whole thing. They saw the train rolling faster and faster. They tried to put a stop to it. But what happened when Belgium neutrality was violated? And that's a whole thing too. And you can go back to one of my episodes back in the day describing the whole Belgian neutrality thing. But what happened when they violated Belgian neutrality? You had the people, British people, took to the streets. People in, I forget other countries, Austria maybe. I forget who teamed up with the Brits, but there was the people. It was the media, first of all. It was media, newspapers, the poor Belgians. And what did the British people do? They took to the streets and banged the war drums. The war drums. In fact, it was Lloyd George, I believe, who tried his best. He tried his best to stop all this fighting. And but he was like weak. But he would write, I'm paraphrasing, but he detested being cheered on by a war crowd. He saw it as a disgusting thing. The people are psychos. Let me show you psychos in America. Let me show you some psychos. There was an interesting situation. There was an interesting moment with the Massachusetts a Massachusetts Democratic senator calling for de-escalation. Let me get his name. Fascinating moment. Ed Markey, Massachusetts Senator Ed Markey, booed at a pro-Israel rally in Boston. And you might think, well, obviously the ones who are booing him must be like Hamas people. I don't think so. What do you guys think? I'm going to show you the clip because he's talking about de-escalation. The senator is calling for de-escalation. And here is how the crowd, this is what the crowd responds with. Let me show you the video right here.
There must be a de-escalation of the current violence. The United States should...
So,
there must...
Tell me if you guys think I'm getting this wrong. Massachusetts Democratic senator calls for de-escalation, okay? Let's read this article a little bit. From MassLive.com. He was loudly booed during a pro-Israel rally at the Boston Common on Monday as he called for de-escalation of violence in a bloody cross-border conflict. I don't think that crowd is like Palestinian Hamas people. I think those are pro-Israel people. And they're booing the notion of de-escalation, peace. Am I getting this wrong, y'all? Because this is the war crowd I believe Lloyd George talked about. These are the Palestinians in New York rallying for the gassing of the Jews, allegedly. These are the Arabs in the Arab states cheering on this attack in Israel, horrible attack, and taking to the streets. This is the same, or am I wrong? Are these just like boomer Israel supporters? Like they don't. Do you realize what you're cheering on? I could be getting something wrong here, but as a layman, as you know, as I opened up the show with my ignorance, I do understand one thing, at least a little bit. Human nature, just a little bit. And I saw emotion there. I didn't see logic. The guy's saying de-escalation. He's not taking a side. He's not saying Palestine should. He's saying de-escalation. Let me read more of this article because maybe I'm not understanding something. He says, there must be a de-escalation of the current violence. Markey's comments came as Massachusetts politicians, leading Jewish groups rallied. So it was leading Jewish groups there who were rallying. So this is from masslive.com. Markey's comments came as Massachusetts politicians and leading Jewish groups rallied before a crowd of hundreds on the Boston Common in a show of local support for Israel. The senator prefaced his remarks by telling the crowd that President Joe Biden and all the elected officials here reaffirmed this weekend Israel has the support of the United States. That is a bond that will never be broken. We stand with Israel, he says. Israel's people have the right to live in their rightful homelands, free from fear, free from violence. Don't see anything wrong with that. No family should go to bed at night frightened that a rocket will land on their roof simply because of who they are and where they live. Whatever. I have been to Israel many times, he goes on. I condemn this heinous attack, he goes on. And he says, now is not the time for equivocation. He goes on. Hamas, blah, blah, blah. Amazing. And then he says to de-escalate, but the people are retarded. Right? Because these are people in America. This is just to reiterate here. U.S. politicians, U.S. people, incensing U.S. emotions. That's why I care, and that's why I'm talking about it this way. Imagine if you were in Israel. Imagine if you were an Israeli over there. It's like, yeah, we're fighting them back. What the? I don't like this whole very, in my opinion, just too quick, and I think it's out of emotion to quickly just say, wipe them off the face of the earth, genocide them, gene pool, blah, blah, blah. But when you do an attack, when Hamas does an attack like that, you don't be surprised. Don't be surprised when Gaza gets flattened, right? And it is war, like spoiler alert says, it's war. But these are U.S. politicians. And I don't know Ed Markey that well, but he's Democrat. He's saying de-escalate. I like that word. And if the whole conflict over there is not going to de-escalate us, de-escalate our whole thing. You know what I mean? What's up, Rumble people? You guys are going off. Brian RWK, Base Nation, spoiler alert. What's up? So, that's just what I've been thinking about. That's just kind of a couple things I've been thinking about. I do want to get to calls here before I get too long-winded. I just want to make sure I tie off all the ends here, everything I wanted to say. You know, Europe, man. Europeans, man. Y'all got to get your head out of the sand. You got to get your head out of the dark place. You got to get your head out of your... Okay. Let me show you a little video of policing in London. Well, it's kind of a pivot away from what we're talking about, but it fits. Watch. This is a video out of London, UK, the United Kingdom. And they... this is policing in London. I'll just show it to you. Let me see, pulling up the video. We are going to the UK for this one, folks. Let's watch Policing in London.
I was here for 16 years, and in January I reverted to Islam. Alhamdulillah, I'm very happy. Assalamu alaikum, brother. How are you?
So if you missed it, we got a white cop converted to Islam. Okay, look at the area he's policing. Sorry, you probably were following. I'm just being annoying. Let's watch the video.
Well, I've been a police officer here for 16 years, and in January I reverted to Islam. Alhamdulillah, I'm very happy. Assalamu alaikum, brother. How are you?
Assalamu alaikum. This is London. Remember, this is London.
To interact with the community. So it's really nice because I've been here for so long. I know the young children, I know the the older people, the grandparents, the parents. It's like one big family actually. So if I have a problem with a child, if they're naughty, they're being stepping out of line, I can take them home to the parents.
This is London.
Nobody sort of, a lot of people said, oh, inshallah, one day, Paul, you're going to become...
It's funny. Did he already say the comment about children? He's saying, look, he's in London. He's policing the London people. The London people have changed, clearly, if you're looking. The London people aren't quite like the London people from the before 4 times. But they seem nice. Look, she's smiling. We got the kids out. He's saying the parents. The parents. It's like one big family out here, he says.
So
it's like, and look, fresh halal meat and groceries. This is the streets of London, everybody. Londistan. And he says, this is so funny. He says, if I ever have a problem with a child,
if they're naughty,
if they're naughty, if they're stepping out of line, hey, excuse me there, officer. I wonder if that happens a lot. I wonder how much that happens with these. I don't know. You hear these stories of these young boys in these European schools, just making a mess of the place and making it tough for the white boys in there. They get bullied. I hear things.
Stepping out of line, I can take them home to the parents. Nobody sort of, a lot of people said, oh, inshallah, one day, Paul, you're going to you'll be Muslim, but no.
They said, he even says, Paul, his friends, people, or someone around him said, you're going to be a Muslim. It did happen. So I don't know why you're so incredulous, man.
One really, they've not sort of tried to force or anything like this. And it's just over a period of time I started studying the Quran and I started to... Don't blame Paul, by the way. Don't blame Paul. All people are like this. If the area that Paul is in now had become Hindu, he'd become a Hindu. Because most people are robots. Most people just adopt things, especially if they're popular and especially if they're in it. So don't blame Paul. Don't be mad at Paul. Instead, reflect and understand that the custodians of London, his ancestors, and even Paul himself, not taking responsibility away from those there, they forgot, I guess. They forgot who they were. And when you forget, the vacuum gets filled. You have to imagine, it's so interesting. The person who posted this video here with a poignant little quip says, nerdy middle-class atheists worked tirelessly 2 centuries to purge London of Christianity, and they only get to enjoy it for about 10 years. Yeah, because when there's a vacuum, it gets filled. Sorry, atheists, get wrecked. You got rid of Christianity, and it got replaced. You got rid of who you were, and you're getting replaced. So don't blame Paul. Don't judge him. Have an understanding. People are robots. And if his area would have become anything else, he would become that. Okay? You see what I'm saying? You look into Islam, and it's just such a wonderful, wonderful, peaceful religion.
Wonderful, wonderful, peaceful religion.
A period of 5 months, I've read the...
We don't need to watch the whole thing. I mean, I'm showing you this for a reason. You're seeing London change. That's obvious. And that's just horrible. But I'm demonstrating to you the state of Europe. The state of Europe. The unstable region. And I just want to tell y'all Europeans, man, you got to get your head out the sand. These Semites going crazy. And I'm not, and I learned that Semite means all of them, right? And someone correct me if I'm wrong about this. I'm not trying to be ignorant. But I believe, doesn't Semite mean Arab, Jew, like all of those people? So Europeans, y'all, got to get your head out the sand, figure it out, repel the invaders, because these Semites gone nuts. Get a handle of the region, y'all. America's not doing a good job either. Well, I'm not saying go and do something, but I'm just saying, y'all, Europeans, get it together. I just want you guys to get it together. That's all. Sand is a dog whistle, says Carver. I wasn't saying it like that, but if it's, get the sand out of your country. You're getting sand in your shoes, fellas. Okay, Semite means Jewish. My bad. Semites are descendants of Shem.
So get it together. Anything? What last thing I want to say here? Before I take a call, look, they're telling you about the babies. And they're saying the babies, they're killing the babies. And the claim came from a report. This news report here, you may have seen it. I just want to report this news real quick and get to the calls because they're talking about the babies. And I'm not denying them or saying they're true. I just want to report the news a little bit on that saga and where we're at because you heard the reports. The reports came from this report where this woman, this reporter, was over there in the area and she said that there are bodies here. And then she said there are bodies, there are beheaded children, right? Okay.
Actually, just the mass casualties that happened right here. In fact, the Israeli military says they still don't have a clear number, but I'm talking to some of the soldiers and they say what they've witnessed as they've been walking through these different houses, these different communities, babies, their heads cut off. That's what they.
So that's the claim. That's what's being said. Now, since then, a couple of things have happened. There were reports that the Israeli army themselves said they don't have a confirmation about the allegations that Hamas beheaded children. Hold on. Just trying to get you their full report here. Give me 1 second. Hold up. Okay. So the initial claims were circulated by that news story that you saw. Then it was corroborated by the UN with a report there. Now those reports were in contention with different media. One, for example, was Sky News. Sky News said they would not cover the beheaded baby story because they have not seen evidence of this. Okay, they have not seen evidence of this. And so Sky News, there was like I said, there was the report from that news story. There was that UN thing. Sky News then came out. They said they're not going to cover it because they haven't seen evidence of it. They asked the Israeli Defense Force 3 times to confirm it. They have not yet, according to Sky News. And then it came out that a new report from independent foreign journalists. We're now getting reports from Margot Haddadis, foreign journalists. This is Revolver News following that saga. Revolver News reports, that saga the way I told you, and then continues that report and says about this Margot Haddadis. Given foreign journalist Margot Haddadis, among the first to claim these atrocities have indeed been verified by officials, besides the UN thing and besides the report from the news. So here it is. That's it. The information is out. It's so macabre that no one wanted to reveal it until they had 100% confirmation. Infants and children under 2 years old beheaded. For those asking for the source, multiple Israeli army internal intelligence service and atrocious images. And courageous journalists from the foreign press. So that's Revolver News. That's the saga a little bit. And I can't tell you about the truth in that or not. I find it a little interesting that in the remarks by President Biden on the tax that he said yesterday, I'm reading this from whitehouse.gov, as you can see, he doesn't make a mention of the babies. He does say, however, stomach-churning reports, he says, of babies being killed. But no confirmation of that in Biden's own address to the nation on this. So I find that somewhat significant. So it doesn't seem confirmed, at least not to Biden. I feel like he would go in on that. He'd be like, they're beheading babies. But he's saying reports. So I'm just giving you the news here because the point is people are trying to get us emotional. And look, nobody wants babies beheaded. Any group doing that has to be stopped. But we got to be level-headed. We got to be level-headed because people are out here saying religious war. People are out here getting offended at calls to de-escalate. And so that's where I'm at with this. And the babies, it seems like it could be true. So horrible stuff, horrible stuff. You don't be surprised if Gaza gets leveled. So that's where I'm at with this. Let's get to some calls. How about we get to Art, Ohio? You're on the air. Appreciate your call.
Hey, what's up, Nick?
What's up, Art? Welcome.
Please, everybody, now I'm being funny or whatnot. As the Americans, we need to go save the females and the babies or whatnot, knowing that America has the most highest abortion rate over here in America, if I'm not mistaken or whatnot. But we so worried about the women and the babies over there in Israel or whatnot.
Oh, so what do you want to do with the women and children in Israel?
I'm saying America is acting all holier than thou, being hypocrites. When America has high abortion rates, the highest in the world abortion rates, I don't know if it's here or China, between the two, highest abortion rate numbers. But they over there in Israel, allegedly, they all crying and pouting about the babies and the females.
And they have like a high abortion rate, you're saying?
Yeah, even if they don't have the highest, it's still high over here in America.
Interesting.
It's very, very hypocritical. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing is, let me act like I know how to count.
I heard someone say the U.S. is calling for, what is it, proportional? Which sounds like a little bit of a walk back. Like they're saying, you got Biden saying we're, totally standing with Israel, right? But I heard proportional attack. I'm trying to look it up while you're talking. I heard that Israel, here it is, U.S. calls... This is from MSN. U.S. calls for proportionate Israeli response, which is interesting because it kind of isn't. It isn't a green light into do whatever you want to these people. So, just wanted to report that. Go ahead, Art.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's very hypocritical. The second thing is I'm gonna try to keep up with my count because since allegedly Biden been in office or whatnot, my Bidenomics, so my count's been messed up. So I lose count between 3 and 4, and I don't know the numbers or whatnot. So second thing is, didn't I just say yesterday that Trump need to stop trying to talk like an OG and shut up sometimes? Shut up. Shut your big mouth.
Who has to shut up?
Because all the art rolling with you, but you keep it up with this non-American rhetoric. Artie Art, it will become your biggest non-advocate.
And what is it? And what is it that he's saying that's got Artie Art possibly jumping off the train?
Well, I ain't jumping off yet, but I wish he'd pick and choose his battles a little bit better and stop acting like a leotard. First thing first is I just said that about him yesterday, trying to jump on board, and then come to find out Egypt, in the news is reporting that Egypt said that they had either Egypt or Saudi Arabia had warned Israel about upcoming an attack. Now, I don't know if you want to believe the news or not. I don't believe the news or whatnot, but I don't have to believe and understand or believe the news or whatnot for the simple fact that it's only common sense. When Trump was sending all that money over there to Israel, whoever he was sending money to, Biden was sending all that money over there to them countries. What did you think they was going to do with that money? So it's only common sense that they would end up, you giving them all that money, what they was going to end up in turn doing with the money. It's only common sense. So I don't need the news to tell me or whatnot that's what was going to happen. Everybody with any type of common sense knew that was going to happen. The second thing
is that what's, I may have missed it. I'm sorry, Hart, but is that the problem you have with Trump?
Yeah, that's the problem. What I had. That's the problem. What I have with Trump is because he talking about stand up and speak up for them, or we support them or whatnot. But you supposed to be pro America. But everybody in
Trump's talking about us. He's using this situation to talk about us. He's talking about Israel. He's like, yeah, we gotta, America, and he's saying we gotta, because of all this terrorists and all this, we gotta do the travel ban. We gotta deal with our southern border. He's using the Israel thing to talk about us. I think the president for that.
Whatever you saying, I heard what he said. He said we are standing with Israel. Point blank.
Are you surprised though?
Excuse me.
Are you surprised that he'd say that though?
Well, let me get to my point. You kind of throwing me off of what I'm trying to say.
Fair enough. Go ahead. My bad.
What I'm saying is you're supposed to be pro America. Everybody and their mama with common sense know that all this stuff is going on and whatnot ain't going to in turn but cause them people over there in that land they gonna end up trying to use the term we asylum seekers, and they ain't gonna do nothing but end up coming over here adding on to the problem that we already have with the border or whatnot. That's the first thing or whatnot. So that's very hypocritical or whatnot, because everybody and their mama knows it's the same high school playbook, football playbook that they've been and keep running. The asylum term and uses the asylum we seeking it's getting very old and played out very quick. And so that's my problem that I'm having with them. Whatnot. I don't support Israel or with Hamas or whatnot. I don't stand with them or I ain't against them. I don't care. It ain't got nothing to do with them or whatnot. That's the first thing. And that's my problem that I'm having with Trump and these other people, because just like I was saying, they was wanting Egypt and everybody was warning Israel about an upcoming attack. But what's going on with ARSE? ARSE has been warning America about attacks that's going to be happening on American soil. Same thing they was doing with Israel, but ain't nobody, the same day, like ain't nobody listening to what's going on with them over there. Ain't nobody
Trump
listening to me when I'm
He's
saying
talking
what I'm
about the
saying.
travel ban in the midst of all this.
You said he what?
Talking about bringing the travel ban back and dealing with the southern border. Because that's what you said, that there could be people coming in through the border and that could be attacking us. Is that what you just said? A terrorist attack on American soil?
I'm saying the same thing to Egypt or whatever whoever that was that warned Israel about an upcoming attack is the same thing or is warning about over here in America. There ain't nobody listening when it's common sense that you can see what's going on with the immigration. So you bringing a lot of this stuff on yourself. America's bringing the stuff that's going to happen on American soil on themselves, just like Israel brought it on themselves by not getting in defensive stance and preparing themselves for something that they knew was going to happen in the first place. The second,
but you don't know that. But you don't know that.
What you mean?
You're saying they should have defended something that was going to happen in the first place? You're talking about advanced knowledge, right? Advanced knowledge of this attack with Hamas?
Yeah.
You're speculating on advanced knowledge of the Hamas attack, right? Which many of us have done the same speculation, so I'm not blaming you for that, but you're not, it doesn't sound like you're leaving it as an I don't know. It's not a speculation for you. You know that they had advanced knowledge of this.
It's bound to happen. You mean to tell me you could?
Bound to happen and advanced knowledge of this Hamas attack are two different things, right? Bound to happen, like a mountain is bound to crumble. You know, if you give it enough time, thousands and thousands of years, it'll eventually be worn away, right? But this particular Hamas attack, the speculation is that Israel knew this particular attack was coming, and they strategically allowed it to happen for their own purposes. Is that what you're saying? I don't disagree. It sounds likely. It sounds like it would be in there, but I'm just saying it's speculation. You don't know.
Ain't nothing speculating about what I'm saying. It's common sense. You call it speculating.
No, it's not. What's common sense about? But Art, you have, but Art you have like state departments, you have like governments. What I'm saying is that even the people who don't trust the media and don't trust the main, the story being told, those people don't go as far as to make a claim that you're making. Do you see the point I'm saying? They'll have their speculation, but they don't go that far as to just say they know something that they don't know, which is the true radicalism. Not the information, but saying you know something when you don't know. That's the real radicalism, and that's what I'm paying attention to. You see what I'm saying here, Art? The people who are on your side who don't quite agree with the main story don't make the claims you're making.
You said, say that again?
The people, because there are other people who agree with you. They have the same speculations and they don't trust the main story. But even those people don't go as far as to say that they know something that they don't truly know.
If I give money to a terrorist group and they are terrorists, what do you think is going to happen with the money, Nick?
Okay, you're talking about what money? The $6 billion? Did you know that? Are you talking about the $6 billion to Iran? The unfrozen assets?
I'm asking you a simple question. Let's be conservative. Let's be conservative alpha males. Let's not beat around the bush. If I give a terrorist organization billions and millions of dollars. What do you think that a terrorist organization is going to do with the money?
Buy bombs and maybe even use them.
You said who?
Buy bombs and maybe even use them.
Okay, then that's all I'm saying. Ain't nothing speculating about that. That's
no, it is. Let me tell you. Now, So I answered your question very simply. Now let me tell you, because it sounds like you may be referring to the $6 billion in assets unfrozen for Iran. You're talking about that?
Whatever money they've been spending,
right?
Over
but
there,
in context, there's a recent event
they've been playing both sides against one. They've been playing both sides.
100%, 1,000,000%. But going back to the whole notion of knowing things without really knowing them. I know you're saying it's not speculation, but this is what I care. This is so interesting to me. Thank you. You're saying if you give money to terrorists, they're going to use it to do terrorism. It's like, okay, that statement is true. It's at least on its face true, right? But then it gets different when you're talking about today in real life, because it sounds like you're saying, well, then clearly the $6 billion that went to Iran, they used it in this Hamas attack. But you see, you're jumping the gun, because if you just look it up, you'll notice that those $6 billion in assets are apparently still sitting where they're supposed to be. Did you know that?
Well, you talking about the $6 billion? I'm talking about all the money that they've been. That this $6 billion ain't.
That's fair. I understand your statement.
They don't sent over there. Didn't Barack Obama send money over here? They all been sending money over there.
Yeah.
They all been true. Trump sent money over there to go against ISIS.
And I heard Israel created Hamas, right, by supporting them and funding them, and the CIA created ISIS. Like, if that's what you're referring to, I'm aware of that a little bit.
So, I mean, is this speculation? But didn't we all know what was going to happen when Biden left all that military equipment over there? What do you think is going to happen with that?
No, we're seeing videos. We're seeing videos of these what looks like insurgents with American weapons. So that's not speculation. That's just clear. But you see my point about the difference between speculation and not? Like, I'm not saying you can't have your questions, but you got to stay in reality. Even the people with the questions, even the most questioning of people who don't believe that the main story on this whole situation, don't go around saying things they can't confirm, like Iran was behind Hamas or until they can confirm it. That's my point.
Yeah,
even if it's likely or you got to stay in reality.
I know what speculating is. I know what they all call certain groups of people conspiracy theorists, but the conspiracy theories seems to always be right. That's the first thing or whatnot. The third thing is I want to ask, because what I'm seeing from these videos or whatnot, I'm seeing how them buildings is going down from the alleged missile attacks, and they don't. I mean, I'm not no constructionist. I'm not no controlled demolition expert, but they don't look like they going kaboom. They look like they just falling flat down or whatnot. That footage ain't looking too real to me or whatnot as far as what I'm seeing on there.
You're saying which footage of buildings coming down? Buildings coming down where?
Yeah, over there with the stuff that's going on in Israel. Whatnot.
So like in Gaza, where they're fighting back, or?
Well, I don't know where it's at. This is speculating. See, this is what you call speculating.
Exactly.
I don't know where this is speculating. I don't know where this footage is, what they showing me or whatnot. But this is also speculating. I'm not just like I said, no demolition expert. And I like to ask the Pharaoh of L.A. or whatnot is, I don't see no missiles hitting them buildings. I just see them falling down or whatnot. And I find that awfully funny that they had a problem. You ain't see no American news anchors over there with the Ukraine stuff or whatnot. They ain't let Tucker Carlson go over there and interview Putin or whatnot. But you seem to find all these liberal, lying news people whatnot over there happen to be over there filming all this stuff while all this stuff is going on or whatnot. I just find it awfully funny or whatnot. They don't seem to be around when all this stuff is going on with Russia and Ukraine, but they seem to awfully be around taking pictures of them all acting scary on the ground or whatnot, kneeling and acting like they trying them by them laying on the ground that's going to protect them from getting hit by a bomb.
Yeah.
These news people.
Yeah, I seen that. I seen that out there. What's crazy is like they the person, the reporter, maybe dealing with that or this or that immediate danger. The sick part of it is that it's kind of a positive for the media. You know what I mean? Getting that on camera.
Mm-hmm.
That's gold.
Yeah. But I just, also, this is something else that I mean, they keep so much stuff going or whatnot. Just like I said, they see the fire planes going down with Ukraine, so they create another mess. But I'm still stuck on with this lockdown stuff. They had America locked down with this vaccine nonsense or whatnot. I want to know how many people over here in America died from that because they was running around here vaccinating people. So y'all trying to keep all this stuff going, and I ain't still got past that. I want answers about that, and y'all thinking that people going to forget about it or whatnot. Y'all putting American kids, all the American citizens that being over here in America, y'all putting us last and keep trying to skip the page and jump 10 pages and go to a whole nother story, then I ain't buying it. You're not going to keep putting a whole bunch of stories up in front of me about a whole bunch of people I don't give a F word about or none of that. I don't care what happens to them. And
Fair
that's
enough,
a fact.
man. Fair enough.
Straight up. And you can send them, they babies, the dogs, send them all back to where they came from. I'm worried about America.
Yeah, and no videos of dogs, even if it's Sandman, is gonna get me emotionally incensed. Right on, Art. Appreciate that.
Catch you later. Trump better figure it out and get it together because he's gonna lose the working man, and he can lose the working man, American.
I think you're reading into that and judging a little bit. You might be reading into that just a little bit because Trump's like that's just Trump. Now
I'm saying. You know how it is, Nick. You know how it is when you try to appease and make everybody happy. You don't have the friends, but you don't try to make both sets and groups of friends happy, and then they both turn on you. You can't make everybody happy.
You're right. And you know what? I don't disagree with your comments either. My thing is that, in my opinion, Trump has not proven to me, in fact, he's proven the opposite, that he's not America first. He's proven to me the opposite, that he is America first, and I still trust, even with whatever comments he makes about Israel, which don't bother me, I still see him as America first, and I trust that he is. And anyone, in my opinion, out there seeing a little comment of Israel that Trump makes and that shakes your belief in that, well, I don't know. That's your own thing. That's your own thing, and maybe you've estimated that to be true. Personally, I don't. I still see him as America first, and any comments you may have heard haven't changed that for me. So I'm voting Trump.
Well, it ain't changed it for me neither, but I think that he should be a little bit smarter and picking his battles a little bit better. Because, see, he ain't got out of the water.
Maybe you shouldn't be so judgmental.
Huh?
Well, maybe I should check out what he said first before I say anything. So I'll check it out, Art. Thank you.
Well, no, I'm just saying pick and choose your battles. You see what I'm saying? He got to still lay out his plan, what he going to do when he get back in office. You up here worried about everything. Worry about that first. Because last time I checked, they was trying to send you up the river and put you 20 feet up in the jail and throw away the key. But go ahead, I'll catch you later.
Thank you, Art. Call me again, sir.
Catch you later, yep.
Right on. Amazing. What? Amazing. Thank you so much for tuning in and supporting and calling the show. Hope you've been enjoying it this past hour. Can't believe an hour passed by already so fast. You've been watching American Anchor Baby. I'm live on Rumble, rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. Part of the Bond Network. You can check me out on this channel that you're watching me now. Follow, subscribe, hit the notifications. Because I'm live Monday through Thursday. Noon. Fridays we do something special. If you've never caught Nick Stream on Fridays, subscribe. You're going to love it. So we keep going, though. We got more show. Amazing. Amazing. What else shall we do? Atrocities. They're calling it atrocities. The atrocity of human nature. Let me show you this. Talking about... actually... Yeah. Human nature. You know, anybody ever seen or read Lord of the Flies? The Lord of the Flies. The Shipwrecked Boys. Some of you may have seen the movie, read the book. Very impactful. At least I heard. And it describes a cynical image of humanity, if you will. Lord of the Flies. Hold on here. Hold on. Let me pull it up. Kind of an older little story here. A couple years ago. It was on the front page of Revolver today, though. And it just fits thematically. So thank you, Revolver. Thank you, The Guardian. This writer here talks about these marooned schoolboys from William Golding's bestseller, The Lord of the Flies. And if you don't know the story, survivors, British schoolboys, survivors of a shipwreck on a deserted island. Oh, sorry, it was a plane. Shipwreck or a plane? A plane gone down? Was it Nick Stream Friday? Maybe. The only survivors are these British schoolboys who can't believe their good fortune. They're totally free. It's only no grown-ups. It's just us. And on the very first day, the boys instituted democracy. Ralph, one boy, Ralph, is elected to be the group's leader. Athletic, charismatic, and handsome. His game plan is simple. Have fun, survive, and make smoke signals for passing ships. I'm reading a little bit of this article. Number one is a success. The others, not so much. The boys are more interested in feasting and frolicking than in tending the fire. Before long, they have begun painting their faces, casting off their clothes, and they developing an overpowering urge to kick and bite. By the time a British naval officer comes ashore, the island is a smoldering wasteland. 3 of the children are dead. This is the story of The Lord of the Flies, written by William Golding in 1965. Oh, sorry, not in 1965, but written by William Golding. This story, written by a schoolmaster, English schoolmaster, William Golding, in 1951. This novel sold tens of millions of copies, translated into more than 30 languages, hailed as one of the classics of the 20th century. And critics know, and people who know the story know how really good the book, how masterful William Golding was in his description of the deepest darkness of human nature. Schoolboys marooned on an island, devolved to their baser urges and instincts to kill and destroy, anger, hate. Lord of the Flies, William Golding. A story, lots of success. This story would be adapted to a film and read in schools. I was shown this in school. And would be shown in schools across America, in curriculums, with this message of human nature being so dark and evil. Selfish. Humans are selfish creatures. That we're truly selfish, cynical view of humanity. 1951, the world was reeling from a world war. And this writer in this Guardian article describes the success that William Golding's story had can also be attributed to the zeitgeist at the time, the prevailing consciousness at the time, the defining spirit or mood of a particular period. That he had the zeitgeist of the 1960s on his side. A new generation was questioning its parents about the atrocities of the Second World War. Had Auschwitz been an anomaly, or is there a Nazi hiding in each of us? So this story, the Lord of the Flies, you know it. But there was another story in 1965 with some real boys, I believe, 6 boys shipwrecked for 15 months. And it turned out very different from William Golding's best-selling book about human nature. And so William Golding, turns out he was an unhappy individual. William Golding had been an alcoholic, prone to depression. In fact, Golding would later confess and say, "I have always understood the Nazis," Golding confessed, "because I am that sort by nature." And it was partly out of that sad knowledge that he wrote Lord of the Flies. See, he was a troubled man. He said he understood the Nazis because he was of that sort of nature, human nature. And that's why he wrote Lord of the Flies. I mean, if you know anything about Lord of the Flies, he's not entirely wrong. Human nature is evil. The heart is wicked. Who can understand it? And it's interesting, Golding's life and his identification with that spirit in him, causing him to identify with other things in the world. He saw, in his estimation, he saw a similarity. But that's so interesting because he's saying, I've always understood the Nazis. But that in itself is a funny statement, as Golding is only talking about his interpretation of the Nazis, what his mind told him about the Nazis, which is what happens to all of us. And so in his mind, in his mind, this is a Nazi, he says. In his mind, this is what makes a Nazi, XYZ, blah, blah, blah. And then he examines himself and he says, this too is a Nazi. Isn't that interesting? Does anyone relate to that mind game? Maybe that's why Golding wrote the story the way he did. Anyways, here it is. Hold on. I'm trying to give you the story of the Tongan castaways. 6th of October, 1966. The Tongan castaways. The story concerned 6 boys who had been found 3 weeks earlier on a rocky islet south of Tonga, an island group in the Pacific Ocean. The boys had been rescued by an Australian sea captain after being marooned on the island of OUTTA for more than a year. According to the article, the captain had even got a television station to film a reenactment of the boys' adventure. And so, just trying to skip a little bit here, because this writer was so interested in the story of these 6 boys and their account that they wondered, are they alive? I have to find the footage. In a recent issue from a local paper in Australia, this writer comes across a headline, "Mates share 50-year bond." Printed alongside was a small photograph of 2 men smiling, one with his arm slung around the other. The article began, "Deep in a banana plantation at Tulera, near Lismore, sat an unlikely pair of mates. 83-year-old, the son of a wealthy industrialist, and another 67, a child of nature. Their names, Peter Warner and Mano Totau. Where had they met? On a deserted island." It was those people. Peter was the youngest. Hold on. The boys, once aboard, here's the story of the boys. They were students at a boarding school at the Tongan capital. Sick of school meals, they had decided to take a fishing boat out one day, only to get caught in a storm. And so they got caught in a storm. They got caught in the storm and they got shipwrecked. The boys were given up for dead. Funerals were held. In the months that followed, this writer talks to one of these boys. And this writer describes it as the real Lord of the Flies. The protagonists were 6 boys, all pupils at a strict Catholic boarding school. The oldest was 16. The youngest was 13. They had to have a... And anyways, the story goes on, and it's a story not like the Lord of the Flies. That's the point. It's not like the Lord of the Flies. They actually work together. They work, and they work things out, creating an unbreakable bond, okay? Flying in the face of William Golding's initial made-up fictional story of Lord of the Flies. But why am I telling you this? Not only to point out the interesting mental relationship William Golding had with his idea of the Nazis and his judgment of himself, but also how this writer who's writing about the Lord of the Flies and the real Lord of the Flies, later on in the article starts describing modern scientific insights. Oh, these modern academics, these scientists always trying to tell us what they know, and then they're telling us transgender, all sorts of crazy things, these scientists. Well, there is a consensus amongst the scientific community about human nature, according to this writer. And the consensus is William Golding's, that people are just nasty by nature. But according to this writer, there's a modern scientific community and insight that's going against the initial conclusion of the evil of human nature. And these people are saying that it's not quite like that. All this to say, if I could just summarize this, the point is this writer is so impressed by modern science and what they're starting to just come out with, that, hey, maybe we don't quite understand human nature. It's so funny because I feel like it seems like, I bet you there was once upon a time, people all knew. People just understood that children are connected to God. And then it's somewhere along the way, they adopt the spirits, the anger, the traumas of the world, and they get disconnected from God. And so I just find it funny when scientists go all around the mulberry bush to come back to kind of like common sense stuff that I bet you was kind of more known, especially when people had a more understanding of the spiritual nature. It's not that the boys in the Lord of the Flies were born like that. It's the world and their parents and the world they're born into, the sin that they're born into. So I just found that kind of interesting. It was on the front page of Revolver. A little bit on human nature. Makes you think of all the... I heard it was like 40+% of the population in Gaza is like children. And it makes you think of the brainwashing that goes around the whole world. The brainwashing they're putting in those kids. I imagine, you're seeing videos, and we don't know, but you're seeing videos of these young Palestinians. Hateful. They were taught that. You're seeing young Israelis. Okay, I'm seeing videos of them spitting on Christians or whatever. You're seeing people over here too, right? Back and forth, both sides. The children. What about the children? I mean, kind of interesting, no? In that, I don't think my commentary about turning away from all this confusion and all this history to a new day, I don't think it's that ignorant or too simplistic. Because I was saying, basically, you got this side and that side saying this or that. Can we drop the fight? Is it possible? Or is that too ignorant, too simple? The children are our example. They are our example, huh? I'm laughing because a lot of evil people use the children for evil reasons. The children, think about the children. But, the most holiest. Oh, someone in the chat saying, what are you saying? Look, I'm just saying, if these children shipwrecked can figure it out. Anyways, maybe a bit of a stretch, huh? Anyways, Lord of the Flies. Poor William Golding. What was his name? Poor Golding. He needed to forgive. If only someone told him to forgive. Amazing. All right, what are y'all saying? What's up? Benny Mike? Is that a new name over there on Rumble? Thank you. What's up, Ohio Sentinel? What's up, y'all? What are you guys saying over there on Rumble? Benny Mike. What's up, Benny Mike? I don't think I've ever seen your... This is your name. I got a super chat, I believe. Let me see. Super chats. Thank you for the super chats there. Frederick, LA, says, Nick, who will you follow if Trump is no longer relevant? Follow? What do you mean follow? I'll follow Trump anywhere. I don't know. Nobody. There's nobody else. Show me somebody. And I'll tell you. Because I can't think of a single person to vote for. In any local, federal, I don't care. I can't think of anyone. I can't think of a single person. And why would I vote for at this point, honestly, I don't want to be, maybe I shouldn't say this. I don't think it's bad. I think I was like the only one in this office who voted in the midterms or something recently. Not recently, like last year. Try to be a good citizen, anchor baby in America. Look, I'm a guest. I have a heart in America. I love America. I'm going to do my best. But man, I don't think anybody cares. And I don't blame them. What Republican am I going to vote for? I can't think of a single one, y'all, that's going to do anything. Who am I going to follow if Trump is no longer relevant? Nobody. I'll follow the Jewish people if Trump is somehow made irrelevant, says Hake. Right on, Hake. So, thank you, Frederick, for the super chat. Appreciate that. Nathan, with the super chat, says, Art Frederica water treading contest, win and get floaty. Sounds funny, Nathan. I'm not sure what you're saying, but let's get floaty. Spoiler alert with the super chat says, white nations forgot God and are under judgment. What do you mean by that? Are you saying that what's happening to the white nations is their judgment for forgetting God? I think I can understand that. Under judgment. Under judgment by who? Spoiler alert, white nations forgot God and are under judgment. By whom? Is it whom or who? Latin A in Cali, thank you for your super chat, says, Representative probably loves children the wrong way. Wait, what are you talking about? Latin A in Cali, Representative probably loves children the wrong way? What are you talking about? Thank you for the super chats, y'all. Appreciate it. American Anchor Baby, you never read spoiler alert or my super chat. Wait, what? I'm reading them right now. Maybe you're on a delay. Latin A. My apologies, I didn't get to super chats earlier. Starting soon, President Biden delivers remarks at a roundtable with Jewish community leaders. Interesting link. Spoiler alert has posted in the chat. Thank you. Looks like the White House YouTube channel is getting ready for a roundtable discussion with Jewish community leaders. You might want to check that out. Thank you, spoiler alert. Amazing. Come on, you got to know what she means. Wait, am I missing something, y'all? Representative probably loves children. You got to know. Who is she talking about? Is she talking about Ed Markey? That's the only... I've talked about a couple of representatives, actually. Maybe Tim Hernandez? Are you talking about Tim Hernandez? Do you love the Muslim people? Do you love the Latin people? Do you love the Jewish people? Huh? That's funny, Bobby Blanco. Nice. I'm just reading the chat for those listening and wondering. Reading the chat, rapping with the chat back and forth. Amazing. Okay, so what shall we do next? AI? Speaking of atrocity propaganda, Speaking of atrocity propaganda, let me show you something. Atrocity propaganda. Speaking of atrocities, propaganda, and putting those things together, we got Brandon Johnson, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, evoking the atrocity of slavery to get you emotionally incensed for, I don't know, support. We got Brandon Johnson. If you don't know, Brandon Johnson is the custodian, was voted and elected to be the custodian, mayor, to be the mayor of Chicago, a city embroiled with a lot of issues. You know this from the reports. They hit the headlines, national headlines every weekend. Shootings, you know this. Chicago mayor was a mess with that little frog-eyed lady woman. She's, what's her name again? Lori Lightfoot. You'd think the people of Chicago, they've had enough pain, right? Didn't seem like it because they voted in another radical guy, Brandon Johnson. You know this. The people of Chicago have taken to the streets in recent moments, televised moments that you've seen. I've reported on them. Taking to the streets, taking it to the man, yelling about the migrants. They're calling them migrants, bringing them in to Chicago. They don't like it because they come into their areas. And it's also illustrates the leadership in Chicago and where their true allegiances lie. And it's not to the people of Chicago. And so they don't like that. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson delivered a bizarre rant shoehorning slavery and racism against black people into the discussion of the criticism he is facing from the black Chicagoans for opening a growing list of shelters for illegals in their neighborhoods and for redirecting funds and services from black communities to serve the border crossers there. Brandon Johnson speaking to the people. Let us watch, huh?
I'm doing my part to continue to make sure.
Apologies, headphones users. Been trying to watch that a little bit. That was probably loud. My apologies. Brandon Johnson, Chicago.
I'm doing my part to continue to make sure that Chicagoans who have been in this city, who have needed support, and particularly our black families. I know there's been a tremendous burden, particularly on black Chicago. I am fully aware of that. Y'all know where I live.
Y'all know.
Y'all know how many schools have been shut down in Austin, mental health clinics. Administration after administration has taken away from black people, not mine. And I want to make this point very clear as well. We're trying to make sure that migrants are not on floors. So when individuals say
we got people on floors,
black folks want what migrants,
we got glizzes on floors, man. Oh, sorry.
That black folks want what migrants want. It's not true. It's not. Black folks want what they deserve. And to compare the needs of black people to individuals who are being forced out of their countries because of bad foreign policy, who are living on floors, comparing the conditions in which descendants of slaves have had to endure to migrants who are sleeping on floors, I question how much you actually care and love about black people and understand their conditions.
What are you saying, man? People are mad that you're bringing in the migrants. You're bringing in the illegals. They're called illegals. They're mad that you're doing that. You're doing that. You're bringing them in, bringing them money, giving them housing, right? So what is he saying here? He's like, but to compare them. Yeah, but don't you dare compare them, though. All right, okay, who cares about the comparison and who's doing that? We're talking about what you're doing. And that's bringing them in. That's why you got your own constituents out there yelling. And that's the irony is not lost that they voted him in. And maybe they should have known, but it's a spiritual battle, okay? And these people are demoralized. They're demoralized individuals given the power of voting. They're going to vote immorality. You got to have some understanding and some love, okay? They're demoralized. The facts aren't helping. How many more facts can we give them? How many more Lori Lightfoots can they have? It's not working. It's about the heart. It's a spiritual battle. So have some understanding. Don't judge them. So yeah, on its face, logically, not making sense what he's saying here for the context here, because he's trying to defend his record in a sense. So why are we talking about? Don't you dare compare them, and question your love for black people. But the language, the atrocity propaganda, the emotions, they've been doing this for so long in this country. You know, playing blacks like a fiddle here. They're playing their emotions like a fiddle here. We've had the example for many years here in this country on using words using words to brainwash and get emotions flared up to control. We've had that example in this country for decades. Do not forget, right? We've had the example in the lesson. Let's learn the lesson. Let's learn the lesson and not get emotional over images and things, okay? Chicago. What a mess, huh? Tremendous burden, he says. Y'all know, he says. Y'all know. Why do they do that? It's so, I guess it's not obvious to the people there. It goes back to what I'm saying about spiritual battle. But it seems a little obvious to the rest of us, right? When these politicians, they go, I got hot sauce in my, I feel no ways tired. That's just so, it should be, I don't get offended, but if I'm black and all that, I don't agree with the getting offended. But if there's one thing that should offend you, it shouldn't offend you, but if there's one thing, it shouldn't be any racism, blah, blah, blah. It should be these people, these politicians going up there. They don't care about you. We're selling you out. Chicago gets paid. Did you know that? They get federal money for bringing in these people and housing them. It's called we get the money. Brandon Johnson told you that himself. So look that up. But it's not just. What was I saying? I forgot what I was saying. Brandon Johnson. Anyways. First we get the money, he says. He says, y'all know, right. He says, why that should be what gets you. It's like, this guy doesn't care. He's saying, first we get the money, he's telling you. But hey, he turns around and he gets up on the stage, he says, y'all know though, I'm black. Don't forget, I'm black. You should see that and not cheer it. You should see that as a person who's prostrate, begging you for their support. Begging. That you should see that as begging. When they go, y'all know, black people, know that they're begging. When Hillary Clinton went up there and says, I don't feel no ways tired, know that they're begging for your support. So don't fall for it. Use that leverage. No, I'm joking. I don't trust you with that leverage. You guys hate America. Some of you. Where was I? He's talking about forced out of countries and stuff. Anyways, Brandon Johnson, what a mess. I got Ryan out of Concord, Massachusetts, man. How you doing, Ryan? It's nice to hear from you. Is this your first time calling my show?
It is my first time calling your show, brother.
Now, it says MA here. Are you in Massachusetts?
I'm in Florida. I don't know why it says Massachusetts.
Right on, Brian. Welcome, man. First time on my show. I've spoken to you plenty of times before, though. It's a pleasure to have you on.
Yeah, buddy. Thank you. And I definitely miss coming to church and seeing you all. How's everything been?
All is well. What can I say? We're rocking and rolling. The JLP network is picking up steam, and I'm just blessed.
I can see that, bro. I was on your show, or I was watching your show the other night, and I think you were like flying a plane or something.
Yeah, dude.
I'm not quite.
Yo, that's funny. You haven't. Yo, fellas, Ryan doesn't know about Nick's stream. He got a taste of it, I imagine. What'd you think?
Well, I think I saw the show. Did I have? I don't think I had to pay for it. I saw it live, but I mean, I donated too. I don't know if you saw my donation.
I must have.
I was listening for it. I don't think you called me out for it.
Hope all is well. Move to Florida. Ryan, thank you, man. I don't remember quite reading that one, actually.
That's all good, brother.
Man, thank you for the support. You saying, miss you, bro. Hope all is well, and that you moved to Florida. That's crazy.
Yeah, bro, I'm in Florida right now. Work brought me here, and I sort of just gave up my place in California.
You still
definitely
doing the same
love
type
and miss
of work?
you guys, but not looking back.
Doing the
same type of work, same pay. But
and how's that going? Because I know you were telling me about how what's that like? I had a caller recently who's also in sales, and it made me think of you because I know you're going through an interesting journey in the sales world and dealing with the ego and the thoughts.
Yes. I mean, when you're on the doors, too, you're really into the thoughts. But what's been amazing about it is when I moved to Florida, it's just like the quality of people that I'm, like, my customers are just a lot nicer. Like, the environment's just so different here. So I've definitely been enjoying the move.
Right on, man. Wishing you well. Hope all is well.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to call and say good job, brother. I've been listening to you and Joel and everybody else. I just haven't had a chance to call your guys' show. So
thank you for
much
the support,
love, brother.
Ryan. Wishing you well over there in Florida. Hope to see you again sometime.
Hell yeah, my guy. Take care. Bye.
Take care. Moving the wheels. Get a little love from Florida. All right. All righty. Amazing. I feel like I'm forgetting something he just said I wanted to comment on. Or did Ryan not even say anything? He's just showing a little love. All right. Where were we? Why he leave LA? Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask him. Conversation went by so fast. Breaking, Joe Biden will work with Jewish organizations to increase efforts on the new national strategy to counter anti-Semitism. We're getting a report here from Spoiler Alert, who seems to be following the Biden talking to the Jewish roundtable here that was reported on earlier. The White House is doing something there. Thank you for the breaking report there, Spoiler Alert. We got that's cool. We got reporters on the scene. Is it fair to say in this case it's an American Anchor Baby reporter? I know, spoiler alert, your allegiances are with, anyways. That's cool. We got a reporter on the scene. It's an internet reporter, but it's still kind of cool. It's still the same kind of thing, right? I wanted to show you something. What should I show you? Silly women involved, their pretty little heads, politics. They're getting into the politics. Amazing. Do I really want to show you this? You know, there's people online. I'm online. I'm on the Twitters. I'm on the X's. I'm on the Twitters. And there's people getting radicalized. They're seeing images of Hamas. They're seeing the dead. They're seeing the babies. And they're getting radicalized. Sarah Hader. I don't know who she is. Mildly attractive. Seems like a nice lady. Sarah the Hater. On Twitter, on X.com. She says, a proto-AI let out of the box too early. Don't know what she's talking about. 100,000 followers. So she's doing well. She's doing her thing. She's got a little newsletter going on. She talks about politics. She gets her pretty little head involved in politics. I do love the Hake Report's, commentary on women in politics. And sometimes these ladies, they don't have any business getting their pretty little heads all involved in this. And I think this is an example of one of those situations. Sarah Hader, from what I could tell, just perusing her Twitter here, seems like she's like a nice little conservative, nothing, kind of like establishment-y. Maybe a little kind of based. I mean, this tweet right here, she says, I'm largely pro-immigration, but anti-open borders, kind of run-of-the-mill conservatism here. I wonder what she'd think about, stopping legal immigration, huh? Is that too far for you, Sarah Hader? Well, Sarah Hader has become radicalized. She writes here, genuinely getting radicalized by all this. Never much cared about Israel-Palestine, but the pro-Palestine side is doing their best to convince me otherwise. I understand you, Sarah. I really do. I'm seeing these people in the streets saying, apparently gas the Jews and stuff. Hey, I get it. But don't worry your pretty little head, okay? Don't get all emotional. Don't get emotional here. You got to calm down. Don't get radicalized. Evil, hate, can take on many different bodies, okay? And the bodies are of different ethnicities and races and male and female and all kinds, okay? So Sarah Hader, woman, calm down. She's saying she's getting radicalized. How easy is it to simply condemn targeted violence against civilians? Can there be a lower bar? Fair enough, Sarah Hader. I mean, some people don't have that standard. Don't get radicalized, though. She's getting all radicalized by this. She's saying she didn't care about it before. Well, continue not caring about it. There's no reason why an image, why crazy people, why angry people, why... And I understand that some of these scenes are violent. There's no reason why that should just suddenly change you today. You didn't care about Israel-Palestine before. And hey, maybe this is a little bit to me too. I didn't care about it before. But hey, I've made it clear in my commentary. I think I made it somewhat clear, right? So Sarah, calm down. Why you get so nervous? Calm down. Pretty little head, getting all involved. Why do men rape? Women are asking on Twitter. But why? They're seeing scenes of this or that. Jennifer on a baby girl Jennifer here on X.com asks, why the hell do men rape as a weapon of war? Question mark, exclamation, 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 exclamation mark. Damn it! Exclamation, exclamation, exclamation mark. Can't that just not be a thing men ever do again? Question mark, question mark, question mark. What kind of mind can even do that? Exclamation, exclamation, pretty little, look, get it, stay out of it. She's like, why do men do that? Look, I don't know if you saw the scenes, but there's some pretty bad things. Look, we're talking about beheadings. We're talking about some pretty nasty stuff, okay? It's all nasty. It's all nasty, Jennifer. It's all nasty. And you're picking and choosing. You don't even know you don't even know the half of it. The true horrors of war. The world today. Americans today. The whole world today. Every living person right now does not know the true horrors of a true global conflict, etc. or is that too far of a statement? Wait, hold on. Maybe some people know. But okay, Jennifer doesn't. And she's here. She's all mad about this. Look, pretty, silly, pretty women, pretty little heads. Stay out of it. Okay? Stay out of it. You're getting emotional. You're getting emotional. You're getting emotional. Why you get so nervous? You know, talking about all this conflict. Speaking of conflict, war. I want to tell you about a little concept known as peace through strength. Peace through strength. Anybody come to mind? I know some of you aren't happy with his apparently comments on Israel, Trump. And I haven't heard them yet. But some of you are unhappy. Some of you are maybe, you're like rethinking some things with Trump. Okay. But when you think of the term peace through strength, can you think of a single person in American politics that in recent memory that you could vote for, that's in the running, blah, 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 that you could think of that is going to do that? Peace through strength and America first, in my opinion, y'all. Trump hasn't shown me anything besides that. Even if he's said something that's pro-gay or pro-Israel, I'm not saying I agreed with those comments, but he hasn't proven to me that he's not America first. And so I'm with him. Let me show you a little peace through strength, though. A little video going viral, 1.6 million views on X.com. I can't really confirm where this happened or why, but it reminds me of these videos of people in universities or whatever going up to white people in a space that they shouldn't be in, apparently. This is a space you shouldn't be in. Don't you know that this is a safe space? Don't you know that this is a... Do you remember that recent? It was not recent, but it was like a year or two ago. It was these black girls in a university going up to these white guys saying, you can't be here because this is a space for us. The university made this space for us. Can we have one space without white people? It appears people may have had enough, and there may be some swearing in this video. I do apologize. The sun is still up, but your host isn't swearing. It's the video. I should bleep. I need a producer. I need a producer to cut videos and bleep them. Or is that, I'm being lazy. I'm being lazy. There may be a swear, but it appears people may have had enough. Let me show you what peace through strength may look like. You may not like it at first. It may look mean, but people got to know. People got to know that there's consequences to your actions. And sometimes strength commands peace, okay? Am I stretching it a little bit to show you this video? Maybe. But look, let me just show you this video of this, what looks like a black girl taking the fight to this man here, this male, and it looks like he's not taking it no mo. Let's watch. He's saying, shut the F up. He's laying down the law. That's it. Time for some strength. What's going on here?
Bro, you was a little ass boy.
You're a boy. Oh, hold on. A hot war just started. Wait, hold on. It was escalation tit for tat before. I don't know what happened before, but suddenly we just entered a hot war. Troops on the ground. We just had a ground offensive here. Hold on. Let's watch. Oh! And we had a response. Proportional response? Okay. Whoa, hold on. Somebody get the UN. Somebody get the UN. Somebody get the Human Rights Council. Or is this peace through strength? It looks like people aren't taking it no mo. Because it used to be you can't hit girls. You can't hit a girl. Somebody call out Human Rights Tribunal. Hey, she started the hot war here. She started troops on the ground here. This was her. Oh, dang. And I do not delight in violence here. But you gotta, some things, maybe I delight a little bit. And I should go home and pray because that's my own evil. And I'm wrong for that. And you are wrong for it too, if you're delighting in this. But he's saying, she's like, you little boy, and slaps him in the face. Don't poke the bear, says 𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍�. I mean, look, peace through strength, huh? She ain't talking no mo. She's going to feel that one later. Redheads are hotheads. That may be true, Hake. And when faced by a hothead, don't go slapping a hothead. I disavow, says Bobby Blanco, and maybe I should too. I disavow. Roll it again. That was epic. Well, for Lord Spike Protein, you're not delighting in this, are you? And I know I'm being sarcastic and making it sound like it's okay to delight in this, but I really mean it. You shouldn't delight, and you should watch your own emotions. But let's run that footage again.
Yeah, you're done with bullshit. Nigga, you're psychotic, nigga. Okay. Shut the fuck up. No, bro, you was a little ass boy.
Whoa!
Oh, shit.
Well, that one's for you, Lord Spike Protein. All right, well, I disavow all violence. More like I'm going to stay out of that one. How about that? I'm going to stay out of that one. Never slap a soulless ginger. Calls him little. He hit her with those fireworks. Hello. False flag. Classic. We got classic. We got a classic. I disavow that last hit. Yeah, he did go off. He did go off. Hey, the U.S. is calling for a proportional response here, man. Calm down. That first hit was, maybe the second hit was called for too, but hey, she was disabled. The threat was disabled. Put the smack down. Gun-free zone at work. I've had to defend myself against a woman before. After 9 punches to the side of the head, I had to. I disavow. Right on, Bobby Blanco. Right on. Spicy supers don't go through. What are you talking about? Nathan says in the chat, I pay for a super and you don't get it. Oh, I did receive it. I think what he's referring to is I didn't understand his super chat. If I can read it out once more. art/Frederica water treading contest. Win and get floaty. I think I get it. Like, you know, you get a floaty. If you win it, you get a floaty. How can she slap? That's such a good question. How can she slap? You're correct, spoiler alert. That is the account that shared this video, but I can't give you the context. I don't know where it came from. How can she slap? That is a fair question, and I too have that question. How can she slap? No, sir. But how do you do that, sir? How can she slap, sir? I'm referring to a legendary video of this Indian game show where this woman slaps one of the contestants. Even though they were getting into a verbal little tit for tat there was no justification for that slap that this woman host gave to that man. And what does the man do? He retaliates. He slaps her back. And what do the simps do? They start beating the crap out of that guy who defended himself when this ego out of control woman, I don't know, saw herself justified in slapping a man. So what was the Indian man left? What was he to do? After he slapped her and he was attacked by other males around him, what was he left to do? There was only one question he could say. There was only one phrase he could repeat over and over again, like a refrain, echoing with his audience too, wondering the same thing. But how can she slap? But just how, sir, just how can she slap? Honestly, I ask you.
Right. Are you sure? क्योंकि ऐसे लगता है ये लोग bad hairdo convention के लिए आए हैं. What the f*** is it with this stupid sideburns of yours? Are you in some sort of a time capsule? 60s में पहुंच गए हो? What is it with those faces? What are you doing?
What are you doing?
What is that?
What is that?
These guys don't have tongues?
Don't have
No,
tongue?
really, they can't talk.
They can't talk.
Want to say something?
No. क्यों? देख के ही फट गई.
देखे बढ़ के.
Idiot.
Oh, dang.
क्या है यार? These guys have no life in them. I'm telling you guys something, you'll have absolutely no reaction.
It's about to go down. It's about to go down.
Okay. I guess I'm done over here. Thanks, guys.
I'm done over here.
Isha, I think तुम इन दोनों को अपना challenge क्यों नहीं दिखा देती?
There's not one word coming out of their mouth.
Calm down.
The thing is that we don't want to talk with you, actually.
Ooh.
Why don't you go and f*** off then?
You go.
What?
How can you slap?
Yeah.
How can you slap?
How can you slap?
How can she slap? How can she slap me?
How can you slap me? What good? Bastard! Bloody bastard!
No.
How can she slap, yeah?
You bastard! How did you enter? I'll fuck your face right now! You.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the video I was talking about. I too am left with the question. To this day, I'm left with the question. But how can she slap? Anyways, the world's gone mad. The world's gone mad. My favorite part of that video, my absolute favorite part is when she says, "Why don't you go and F off then?" And he goes, "You go." He says it with this little smirk and this little voice, and he's like about to burst in laughter. He's like, "You go." That's my favorite part of that video. He's like, "Why don't you go and F off then?" And he's like, "You go." And then she slaps him. The gall. That's the world, folks, and that's the show. That's American Anchor, baby. I do appreciate you being with me today. I hope you enjoyed the show. Back at it again tomorrow, Thursday, for a Thursday American Anchor Baby show at 12. Don't miss it. Follow, subscribe, leave a comment after the fact if you want to engage with the show and help the algorithm if you can't help monetarily. I do appreciate your support. Again, back tomorrow, Thursday, for 12 o'clock, American Anchor Baby. Don't miss the JLP show as it's Bible Thumper Thursday. We do love Bible Thumper Thursday. Hake Report, 9 a.m., of course, Monday through Friday. Hake Report, 9 a.m. Anchor Baby, 12 o'clock. Guys, thank you so much for the show. Thank you so much. I got a spoiler alert super chat before we go here. Lesson, don't participate in a Jewish reality show. Thank you for the super chat spoiler alert. All right, y'all. I'll be back with you tomorrow for more American Anchor Baby, as always. Oops. Hold on. I'll be back with you tomorrow. Let me see. What happens if I do this? Wait, what? How come? There you go. Okay, folks. I do appreciate it. Thank you for today's show. See y'all tomorrow. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.